Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at another video actually from Khey, and I'm sorry, I always look at their Jeffrey Dahmer photo. That's Jeffrey Dahmer, right? I'm always caught off guard, um, whenever I see that. But yeah, today we're gonna be looking at a video from them, another map video, and this one is called "The History of Anatolia Every Year." Now, I kind of have a big fascination with Anatolia. It really started from all the Byzantine videos we've seen, and mainly, kind of like the era where they kind of already lost Syria and Egypt, and then they were kind of just regulated to Anatolia and the Balkans. I don't know what is it about that era, but it really got me fascinated in, Anatolia and or Asia Minor, as it's I think also called, and kind of its history, because there's been so many things that have happened in Anatolia. It was originally the dwelling of the Hittites, and then it was the dwelling of the Greeks. Several Greeks from Alexander and through his successor states. The Romans held on to it for a long time. Um, then the Ottoman Turks, and then, modern Turkey, the modern Turks. So, yeah, overall, there's been so much that has happened in Anatolia. I don't know why, I'm just really fascinated with it. And so that's why we're here. I want to look at a map video about it and, really, just learn more about it. So yeah, if you want to watch the original video from K-Part, the link to the video is down in the description down below. It's always the first link. And if you enjoy my content and, want to help me out in any way, shape, or form, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd appreciate it a lot, and it'd help my very small but humble channel grow. So, with that said, without any further ado, we should get to it, huh? Let's watch The History of Anatolia Every Year by Khey. Anatolia, known as Asia Minor and located in modern Turkey, is an Asian region bordered to the north by the Black Sea, to the west by the Aegean Sea, and to the south by the Mediterranean Sea. From the Achaemenids to the Ottomans, Anatolia is known got for having got dominated by several local powers which never ceased to fight among themselves for the power. I'm telling you, it's been a very I forgot to put on my earbuds. I was gonna listen to this video completely deaf. um okay, yeah. Let's get to it, shall we? The Hittites. Oh yeah, I always keep forgetting that Troy, the city, was actually on Anatolia. And apparently there was some apparently proof that a war did happen, a real Trojan War. I'm not sure if there's been any more evidence about it, but apparently some archaeologists claim that there were remnants of perhaps a war there, so I don't know, that would be pretty cool, huh? Oh snap. Okay, the Hittites just disappeared. And it's really interesting that, you know, the Hittites were kind of like the first major, I guess, civilization to inhabit Anatolia. It's really cool to see the Hittites because I'm only really familiar with them with the biblical account. Um, so it's cool to see, you know, outside of that. And but obviously there are other groups like um, you know, Lydia and stuff, but again, the Hittites seem like the first major of the civilizations, you know? So I'm guessing that was the Bronze Age collapse when the Mycenaean Greeks and stuff kind of went off. So yeah, I think we're kind of, yeah, getting out of the Bronze Age or near its collapse, you know? So there's some pretty cool things happening right now. Apparently Tyre had Cyprus under its banner at one point. That's really cool. And then you're kind of seeing the, I think after the Bronze Age, at least in Greece, it was definitely called the Dark Age of Greece. And now we're kind of starting to see some like familiar places start to pop up, right? Like Athens, Sparta. So that's really cool to see that the Assyrians are the Assyrians never fully got into Anatolia, but they were pretty close. Dude, the Assyrian Empire scares me. They were one of the most brutal empires to ever exist. They actually frightened me, especially their torture methods. Oh dang, wait. Let me get that again. Dang, Assyria. I'm kind of impressed. Assyria seems to be fighting for its life right now. Um, Definitely was around with the Hittites, and now it's like, was shrinking, now it's popping back up. That's really cool to see. Hmm. Alright, I'm just kind of looking at the, obviously, K-Pard put color codings for the major civilizations, and I guess they left these other civilizations yellow. I guess I'm assuming because they're not major, um, like the Assyrians or, you know, all the others, but they do exist and they are there, which is really interesting. These other places, you know. Dude, Assyria's having quite. I'm sorry. This is about Anatolia, but I just keep noticing Assyria keeps shrinking and coming back. Like, they keep having multiple comebacks. That's really cool. Oh my gosh. Okay, okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, a lot just happened there. Okay, once again, Assyria just willed itself back into even being bigger. My goodness. And, I noticed Lydia is growing a lot too. Yeah, I've heard Lydia was definitely an important civilization, or, um, and was pretty prominent in its day. And so far, it's the big. I mean, outside of the Hittites, so far it's kind of growing to be the new biggest force in Anatolia itself. Oh my.
This may
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh well. Okay, Babylon took Assyria. Um. Dang. But yeah, right now Lydia is the largest force in Anatolia proper. Oh. Oh, dang. Holy. Oh, the Medes. Like the Persian Medes, the Mede, you know what I mean. Okay, right now, oh my goodness. Lydia has most of like Western and Central Anatolia. Uh, my goodness, Lydia. I didn't know Lydia got that big. I heard it was prominent, but dang, that's like a good chunk of Anatolia right there. And then there are the Medes. I'm assuming this might be the later on merges with the Persians and becomes that big empire, so I'm keeping my eye on the Medes. And then Babylon just showed up and like murdered Assyria. Assyria had quite the character development there. It just kept coming back from almost death. Yeah. Oh, snap. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, I was correct about that. Um, Dang. Persia just wiped out Babylon and Lydia. And yeah, Persia, I guess, is the first to have this much control. Like, the Hittites were mainly here eastward, Anatolia. Lydia was actually getting pretty big, having a lot of western and central Anatolia. But Persia, so far, has had the largest presence in Anatolia in history first. That's really interesting. Like they basically have all of Anatolia minus the coast, which, you know, I guess are some of the Greek, you know, colonies and whatnot. Um but dang, yeah, Persia's the first to have most of Anatolia under its complete banner. That's really cool. Yeah, definitely you do see the Persian and the Greek conflicts, as Persia basically has the first of the major civilizations to basically have Anatolia under its banner, though obviously the coasts are being disputed among the Greeks, but there are times where they just have it all, so um yeah, you're starting to see the shifting there, which is really interesting. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was that was Alexander's rise to prominence, right? As he just took all that. Dang. For a brief moment, like, Macedonia and the Greeks had it all, right? Yeah, that was definitely really interesting in the Diadochi, post-Alexander era, is that the successors kind of fought over a lot of Anatolia, and then, like, basically, Anatolia kind of remained fractured until the Romans showed up, right? There's Pergamon, which will rise to prominence, and just kind of like different groups all inhabiting this place. So yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, now we're starting to see the rise of the Romans as they're encroaching deeper and deeper. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I love how for so many centuries Armenia was just sandwiched between the Romans and the Persians and the Parthians. It was just, and somehow managed to continue existing. That's kind of really funny, I find, without just fully being absorbed. Well, I think it did eventually, but it did last a while, a good few centuries, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, I find this really interesting, is that the Persians are I feel like the first to have, like, almost all of Anatolia under their banner, though obviously there were disputes like among the coastlines with the Greeks. And in the Greeks, through Alexander, for a brief moment there, had all of Anatolia, but then immediately it fractured, especially after Alexander's death. And it really wasn't until the Romans that, like, they could get all of Anatolia, or at least, the majority, right? Just under their banner alone. So yeah, that's really interesting. Oh dang.
Introducing
Eastern Rome. Yeah, the Romans definitely might have been one of the longest, maybe the longest group to hold Anatolia for so many, like, basically 1,000 years, right? Or, I mean, granted, though, later on they did eventually start to lose it due to the Turks and whatnot, but were the Romans the longest to hold all of Anatolia like this? Like, you get me? It seems like that, right? Or maybe the Ottomans. I don't know. I don't know. But definitely among those groups, right? Those two. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is where like things finally start to cave in. Because like I'm saying, for a long time the Romans just had Anatolia, just had it, and held it. Um, it's funny because I feel like especially later on, after the rise of Islam and the Romans losing Africa and Syria, that Anatolia kind of became the most important province of the Romans. I mean, they only had Anatolia and the Balkans, but it's like Anatolia kind of became like the heartland, and I find this era very fascinating, where the Muslims rose, and then when the Romans only had Anatolia and the Balkans, is that they managed to fortify, because there are mountains that act as a natural defense for entering Anatolia. What was it, the Tarsus Mount? No, it's not that, but you know what I mean. I forgot the official name, but it's a natural barrier, and thanks to the Dema system, for a good long while, Anatolia was basically, um, shut off from whatever was going east, as the Romans made sure to keep anything out, but obviously, after a while, they failed, and then, Turkic groups got in, and yeah, then that was it. Ooh. Like I said, after the rise of the Caliphates, the Romans managed to just fortify themselves in Anatolia and really hold it off. I mean, granted, there were incursions and stuff, but like you see, they were doing a really good job for a long time, managing to really keep it under their banner. And yeah, just watching the Romans get jumped from everyone, east and west, is another really interesting point. Because, yeah, Anatolia being in the center, I feel like Anatolia, yeah, is the center between, like, the east and the west. So whatever forces came from either direction would hit this place. So, the geography of whoever holds it is really interesting, because you can end up fighting two sides, a two front problem, And the Romans basically did most of their existence in the Byzantine era. Oh boy, yeah. Yeah, I always thought that losing Anatolia was a true death rattle for the Romans. I think, like, for a long time, they managed to fortify Anatolia and keep people out of it, you know what I mean? I feel like if they could have kept that up, the Romans maybe could have continued existing. Maybe. Obviously, there's a lot of factors, but I felt like Anatolia kind of became the most important area for the Romans to hold. Um, and the moment that the Turks got in, I felt like that was the end for Rome. Because, hindsight is the Ottoman Turks rose and basically killed the Romans. So, yeah, again, I feel like losing Anatolia was the true point of no return. Because before then, I think they were existing. I mean, they were having a lot of difficulties, especially here in the Balkans, but I think if they could have held Anatolia, they could have continued existing. And again, so far, the longest group to hold Anatolia and the majority of it, all of it, you know? The Romans definitely seem to have that for like, because they had Anatolia for like 1,000 years. There was like at least like a millennia, right? Of them being present on Anatolia. So again, I don't know why. I just feel like, is it correct that they held it the longest? I'm not sure if the Ottomans beat them or not, but um, I don't know. Oh my gosh. Finally, there they are, the Ottomans. Dude, the Romans just keep getting jumped on all sides. It's like they keep getting jumped, reforming, and getting jumped again. But yes, this is finally where the Ottomans make their debut. And as we know, the Ottomans basically hold Anatolia until World War I, and that's where the birth of modern Turkey is done. So yeah. Yeah, we're just chilling with the Ottomans now. And here we are to modern day Turkey, where, you know, the Turkish people are to this day and will hold Anatolia. Um, wow. So yeah, that's the end of the video, and I'm glad to watch it, because like I said, ever since we've been covering like the Byzantine history of Rome, and like I find that era where they just have Anatolia and the Balkans so fascinating, and I think that's really what birthed my fascination with Anatolia and its unique geography, you know, between this like point, definitely, with what's coming further eastward and what comes west, kind of have to kind of meet around this area. So I don't know, it's kind of like this weird center of the world in that sense, you know what I mean? And I would definitely would like to see it someday. I visited Greece last May. The closest I got was the island of Samos, Greece, like around here. I got there because I was visiting Greece. And you know, I didn't actually step foot in Anatolia proper, but that's the closest I ever got to it. So definitely one of these days have to check it out, because like I said, such a rich history, right? From all these different groups, the Hittites, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Ottomans, just so much richness, so much history, so much culture. It's amazing. Like I said, I'm becoming very fascinated with Anatolia right now, and I'm glad to have watched this video. I really wanted to watch this video. No one recommended this to me. I did this on my own. I just really wanted to watch this video and see it, you know, and its evolution. So yeah, I'm gonna end the video right here, and overall, feel free to answer my question. Were the Romans the longest group to hold Anatolia? Um, let me know.